Hi everyone, welcome J&D Gardens. We're here for the final episode of our Composting Made Easy series, Fall 2001 pile. Now, if you saw our last video, week 8, you saw that we were over at Camp Compost and showing you how the pile was pretty much done. Now today what we're going to be doing is actually an optional step, and we're going to be sifting or screening out the compost. Now a lot of people would look at this compost and say, Dan, this is really good compost. You really don't need to do anything. It's really light and fluffy. But here at J&D, we don't only use it for our planter beds, we actually also use it for potting mix. So we just like to have any debris out of the way, any large pieces, and anything that we don't use, we're just gonna throw it back inside the compost pile anyway, and it'll break down and we'll sift it out again in a later date. So if you had a chance to see our collecting winter compost from last season's video, this will look familiar to you. Now, there's a couple of different ways of screening or sifting your compost. You've probably seen me use this in other videos. You have a simple, depending on how much you're sifting out, you have a simple box screener. And what it is, it's a wood frame, 2x4s, and it has a metal 1/8" mesh on it. And it's not bad if you're using small amounts of compost. You kind of just put it on top and you just kind of screen it out, and you have nice soft fluffy material, and all the bigger chunks will stay on the top that you can always dump. But if you remember from Camp Compost, we actually have a bunch of compost that we have to do. We're probably going to be like, this is probably one of 15 wheelbarrows that we're going to have to do. So we have our large angle or a slant screener, and it's pretty straightforward. Again, it's about at a 45-degree angle, has a screen on it, and this one's a 1/2" screen, but that's okay because we're going to get most of the big materials out of it. Word of advice, when you start screening, you're going to want to cover the floor. If you're doing it on your grass, or we're here on our driveway, you should probably put a tarp down, because this is going to make an incredible mess. So again, this is optional, but like I said, your material will come out so much better. So you have your compost, and the thought is you throw it to the top, and gravity will bring it all down. All the big materials will collect here, and the fine material, which we'll show you a little bit later. So let me get over here. And you can kind of help it on its way. And as the material goes, you just kind of put it through again. See where you want the tarp. Okay. So it can kind of go kind of quickly. If you have someone helping you, that'll be even better. But you see all the big chunks, and kind of break them up there. Collect them again. Bring it down. And just keep repeating. Once you feel you've broken down these bigger pieces as much as possible, you'll want to throw it back in another wheelbarrow and take it back to the compost pile and let it break down some more. So let me do a few more scoops here, and then I'll bring the camera underneath so you can see what the final material looks like. That looks good. Pile looks good. Let me bring the camera over. Okay, so we're here underneath the sifter again, and as you can see, as I'm tapping it, all the fine pieces are coming to the bottom. And like I said, the debris go there. And just look at this stuff. This is about as good as you're gonna get. I mean, look at that. It's compact, so it breaks up. I mean, it's just really great material. And this is just the way we like to have our compost. When later on, when we'll make potting material out of this stuff, or in the planter bed, everything's just gonna grow so well. Because it's not compacted at all, and it's just going to make it so much easier for the roots to grow through it all. So we hope you enjoyed this series. We enjoyed making it and bringing it to you. And if you did start our fall compost pile in beginning of fall, I hope you had the same success that we did. And if you were just following along to learn, I hope you did learn something. And if you have any questions, please leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you and answer any questions. And if it's something you're still interested in doing and you don't want to wait till the spring, we're actually going to be starting our winter compost pile in another couple of weeks at the end of November, early December. So if it's something that you still want to do, start going around your neighborhood or your garden and collect all your leaves, all the plant material that's dead, all your coffee grounds, all your food scraps. Just start storing them all. Go around, ask your neighbors for their old pumpkins. Those are great to put in compost piles. We're going to show you from the beginning how to collect all the material, how to process them, how to store them until you're ready to use them. And it's going to be a real exciting series, and it's going to be really informative. I think you'll like it. And if you're thinking, winter compost pile is really not for me, I don't want to be dealing with that in the cold, I understand. But believe it or not, it's actually not too bad. We're going to show you how to keep the piles warm over the winter, and you're really going to make some good material. And be honest with you, in the winter, turning the piles isn't so bad. Every now and then you get a break in the weather, and believe it or not, it's actually better to have to turn a compost pile in colder weather than in the 90-degree weather with the heat radiating from the pile, and just it's terrible. So a winter compost pile is not too bad. So until we start the next video, thank you so much for watching. Please hit like and subscribe, and tell a friend. Help us support the channel. Until next time, remember, yes, we can.